Hey girlies, it's Tammy. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some drugstore products that I think you should definitely check out. You may already have some of these in your collection already, but if you don't, I highly recommend giving them a little look, maybe a little purchase as well. I tried to pick out products that you guys probably haven't heard me talk about before, but if they're in this video, it's because I absolutely love them. So you probably have seen them on my channel before, but I'm going to try like not be too repetitive in this video. So I'm going to start with the things that you've probably heard me talk about over and over again, just so we can get them out the way and I'm not going to talk about them for too long. First of all, and I'm sorry if you're tired of hearing about them, but my own palettes with Revolution, I absolutely love, of course. We have like a neutral warm tone type of everyday palette in my opinion, which looks like this. So you've got like your pinky berry tones, your purple, your oranges, and then you've got like a pop of blue and green if you want to, but coppers, golds, all of that good stuff in here. And then of course my Tropical Carnival palette, which is the colourful bright eyeshadow palette. I'm not going to talk about these for too long because I did get a comment like, Tammy, stop talking about your palettes, and I'm like, guys, do you realize I actually made these? Like, they are what I love. Another product that you've probably heard me rave about are the Revolution lip sheer glosses. These are the two favorite shades that I wear all the time, Gone Rogue and Muse. They're like my everyday nudes. I've actually finished one of these. This is my second tube of it, and then this one is just like a nudie, slightly caramel brown, and then this one is like a warm tone chocolatey nude that I don't need to wear a lip liner with, and then this one I would pair with a lip liner just so I get the perfect nude for me. But these two, and they're only like £3, they're such a good formula, really like creamy, really pigmented glosses, but they're not sticky at all. Another product which I'm actually out of, but I do have another one, this is the e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer. You guys have probably seen me talk about this all the time. I love this. It's my favorite drugstore concealer. It's only £5 and it's so full coverage. It lasts all day without creasing, and it is a matte concealer, which I do personally love for my oily skin. But if you do have dry skin, I don't know how you would feel about this. It is drying, not drying like super tight drying out your face type of drying, but it does dry down. So if you do prefer like a hyaluronic acid super hydrating radiant concealer, this won't be for you. But if you do have oily skin and you want your concealer to last all day, this is definitely the concealer for you. And like I said, it's only £5 or $5, so definitely pick that up. Another product that I just won't shut up about is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder. I use the shade medium deep, and guys, this powder is so flawless. When I put it underneath my eyes, it honestly just covers every pore. It blurs all of my imperfections. It doesn't texturize my face, it doesn't cake up my face, and it's not drying either. It is a mattifying powder, of course, but it's not like super dry and like cakey underneath my eyes. It is so flawless. I can't explain it to you guys. If you've tried it, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, but it's just so flawless. I'm not going to say that again, but it is flawless. The only downside, of course, is it's not available here in the UK. However, I did buy a backup from Amazon, but I believe it was shipped over from another country to me, so I think it was like £7 or £8 for the powder and then £5 or £6 for the shipping. So altogether it's still not too expensive. Like, it's not £25–30, but it's definitely not as cheap as you can get it if you are in the USA. I think in the USA I bought mine for $6.99 I think, which translates to about £4. Amazing. Also, my bestie Kami recently went to USA and he picked me up a backup as well. That's how much I rave about this powder. He was like, girl, I'm gonna get you another one because I know you're gonna go through it, so thank you, babes. But yeah, I absolutely love this powder. So those are the products that I feel like I talk about constantly, but we're gonna move into products that you probably haven't heard me talk about like a lot. So first of all, Colourpop eyeshadow palettes. Now I know this is so hard to get in the UK. You can of course ship it over, and they do calculate customs and taxes and stuff like that at checkout, so there shouldn't be any additional charges by the time it gets to you, but it's just like a whole big thing. I really wish Colourpop would just stock on like Beauty Bay, Cult Beauty, somewhere. They need to come to a UK retailer because the quality of their eyeshadow palettes are honestly so good. Like, the shimmers are so creamy, really pigmented. They also have really good blendable pigmented mattes, which I am just blown away by. For the price point of Colourpop as well, it is just outstanding quality. I haven't come across any like dry mattes or any like hard pan shimmers. Like, honestly, everything I've tried from Colourpop, these two especially, are my favorite. They are so so good. This is the Through My Eyes palette, which is a collaboration with I Love Sahi, and I just love the color selection in this palette. You get warm tones, that gorgeous deep dark purple, but you also get a couple like teal greeny colors down here, and I just love the quality of this palette, and the shimmers in here are stunning. So, and another one that I got recently is the Whatever palette, which I believe was for autumn they brought out. This color selection, once again, warm tones. I love these type of burgundy reddish orangey colors, and I know it's kind of an unpopular opinion, but I love the fact that Colourpop puts pressed glitters into their palettes, just because if you're really careful around your eye, pressed glitters can look so gorgeous in eye looks, in my opinion. But of course, use at your own risk. Pressed glitters are not like intended for eye use, I believe, but they just look so pretty, and definitely laid out in the palette they look gorgeous as well. But yeah, Colourpop, highly recommend. If you're in the USA, I'm sure you know, but if you are in the UK, if you can get your hands on anything, I definitely recommend these two palettes. So funny enough, that's all the eyeshadow palettes that I have, because I did do a top 10 drugstore eyeshadow palette and top 10 colorful palettes. I kind of covered palettes already, so I didn't want to like repeat and include the same palettes. So I will link those videos down below, just in case you do want to know my opinions on drugstore palettes and what I think are the best. Going back onto powders for the face, like setting under eye powders, I absolutely love this I Heart Revolution chocolate banana powder. Now this is scented, so if you don't like fragrance, it's not heavy fragrance, but it is scented like a banana or chocolatey type of scent. But the way this melts into the face, honestly, this is a amazing powder in terms of formula. It sets the face flawlessly, and honestly, once again, blurs out those pores and just smooths any texture underneath your eyes. It's just such a good powder. At first I was a little bit, I don't know, when I see packaging like this, I kind of think, oh, is it gimmicky? Like, is it actually a good formula? But this is such a good formula. I prefer this over their Conceal and Fix powder. I don't know if you guys remember, but I did try that powder and it was so like highlighty and so glowy on my skin. But this one is a mattifying powder, 100% matte without that little type of mica sheen. And I prefer the packaging of this one, because the Conceal and Fix powder is just a mess. Let me show you guys. Like, look at it already. It's just so messy. It's got powder everywhere, and that's because it has nothing to catch the powder on the inside. Look, it's all over the mirror, all over the side bit. It's just like such a messy powder, but also the formula of it is pretty glowy. So I suppose if you do have dry skin, you would kind of prefer this powder. It's not a bad powder by any means, but it's just glowy powders are not really my thing. I prefer mattifying, blurring, smoothing powders like this one. And this one came with a very soft powder puff as well, like very high quality powder puff. So I don't know, I definitely prefer this one. But yeah, definitely, how many times can you say definitely? And the last powder I'm going to talk about is the one that I'm wearing today. I have fallen in love with this powder as well. This is by Barry M. It's the Ready Set Smooth powder. I believe it's in the shade Banana. But this powder, once again, so smooth underneath the eyes, really flawless, not cakey. That's exactly what I look for in a powder. It's definitely one of those powders that I put on and I'm just like, ooh, my under eyes look so smooth. Like, I really love this powder. But yeah, there's not much you can say about a powder. As long as it blurs and smooths and mattifies my face, I'm pretty happy. And yeah, this one works beautifully and it's super affordable. I think it was like £5. Okay, so let's move on to some foundations. Now, of course, I do have oily skin, so I do prefer mattifying foundations. This one I've discovered recently, but this one I've been using for a while and love it. So I'm going to start with this one. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundation in 350. I use the shade Caramel, and yeah, it's just a mattifying foundation. The coverage on this is good, but it's not like full coverage. I feel like this one has more coverage than this one, but this is definitely a good everyday foundation. If you have oily skin, I think you would love it. It's just such an easy foundation to wear. Like, I know I can wear this and my foundation would last all day, and it's not cakey or heavy or too drying. It is mattifying, but it's not like super, I hate when my face feels tight. I just like to look matte without feeling tight, do you know what I mean? So this one is definitely a plus. Now this one feels more hydrating on the face. It actually feels kind of like a blurring silicone primer when you put it on, but it does have a matte effect to the skin, even though it doesn't feel like some foundations you'll put on and you can feel that it's dried down. Not drying like this one, but this one dries down. You can definitely feel like it's dried matte. This one, you don't feel like it's dried matte, but it looks matte. Do you know what I mean? It's such a weird texture, but it's such a good foundation. I've been wearing this to like events and stuff because I know it's matte and it's just gonna last, but it also photographs really well. This is the Rimmel, I forgot to say what it was, the Rimmel Lasting Matte Foundation, full coverage mattifying foundation. Once again, not cakey, really lightweight. You don't feel like you're caked in makeup and you're wearing a heavy foundation. Yeah, I just really love this, and I only got it recently, but I've used it so many times. Now, if you're not oily skin like me, I thought I would throw in another foundation that I like, but it's not like my top go-to just because it's not matte. It's still a good foundation, has really good coverage, and it lasts pretty well. I do have to, of course, touch up and, you know, stop it getting oily. However, if you have dry to normal skin, I think it's a great drugstore foundation, and this is the Revlon PhotoReady Candid foundation. It has a natural finish and it's anti-pollution. So in my opinion, this foundation is like a medium coverage. You can kind of build it up, but I prefer to go in with concealer and spot conceal rather than building foundation up. It looks gorgeous on the skin. The only problem with me is, of course, if I go on like 6 to 8 hour days, it won't last that great. It doesn't start separating and breaking up, which I love, but it definitely gets that little bit too oily for me personally. Another concealer apart from the e.l.f. concealer that I absolutely love from the drugstore is the L'Oreal Infallible More Than Concealer. Sorry guys, my memory card filled up, so I just had to go change it. But yeah, the L'Oreal Infallible More Than Concealer is such a full coverage. It's kind of like a dupe for the e.l.f. one, I suppose, but I think it's a little bit more expensive, so e.l.f. is still #1. But if you were looking at this concealer and wondering if it's a good one, it definitely is. If you like full coverage, matte, it dries down matte, which I love. It's just so full coverage and such a good such a good concealer from the drugstore. Definitely recommend checking it out. Now, Technique is not really available at the drugstore, but of course they are really affordable, but I feel like they're only an online type of brand. I know they're sold at, is it Makeup Studio or something like that? I can't remember the shop that they're sold in, but they are sold in a physical shop, but not like Superdrug or Boots, anything like that. And I don't know if this specific product is available in that shop, but anyways, this product is amazing. I've fallen in love with this. You guys know I love orangey blushes, but this one has like a gold sheen to it, and whenever I put it on my cheeks, I don't need highlight. I just feel like this has such a subtle, gorgeous glow to it. Like, I'm really starting to appreciate shimmery blushes, whereas back in the days I just wouldn't touch them at all. I'd be like, oh no. But I love the subtle sheen that it gives to my face, while of course giving me that warm orangey glow from the actual blush color. And this is just such a gorgeous blush. I can't explain it to you guys. Every time I do my makeup, I'm reaching for this. Okay, so last but not least, let's talk lips. First of all, lipstick. I feel like this lipstick line is so underrated. I don't ever hear people talking about it, but it's so good. Like, the quality of the lipsticks, they're so pigmented, but they're also really comfortable on the lips while looking matte. They're not really creamy. Oh yeah, it's called the suede matte lipstick. That makes sense. But yeah, it's matte on the lips while being so comfortable. If you don't like liquid lipsticks but you like the appearance of a matte lip, this is for you. This is the NYX Suede Matte Lipstick, and honestly guys, the quality of these lipsticks are so high end. They're like really pigmented, but they have this matte appearance. Do you guys see? Like, there's no sheen to it at all. Such good lipsticks, and they have such good like range. They've got so many shades in this line. They've got warm tone nudes, pinky tone nudes. They've even got like a bright neon purple if you really want to. But this dark brown lipstick I wear all the time, like to events. If you see me at an event with a brown lipstick, this is it. Or if you see me in a picture with a brown lipstick, this is most likely it. I absolutely love this. Is the shade Cold Brew. And last but not least, we have a clear gloss, of course, because you guys know I love glossy lips, as you can see. And this one from Sleek is amazing. I love not only the formula because it's really creamy but not like sticky. I don't really like sticky goopy glosses, but this is such a creamy formula. It doesn't feel sticky at all, but it has that glossy shine, which I love. This is new, kind of, their lip volve gloss, and this is the shade Clear, Loud and Clear, and it has this spatula applicator, which I love because it means that you don't get the doe foot dirty. Because usually with clear glosses, once you put it on top of like a color like this and then you dip back in, the whole gloss starts turning color. Because it has a spatula, it's so easy to clean. And I'm just gonna top up a little bit, and then you can simply just take a tissue and wipe off the spatula, and it's clean, ready to go back in the gloss to not contaminate or dirty your gloss. I just really love this gloss from Sleek. I think they did really well. They do also have two kind of transforming lip glosses. One's like a purpley pink shimmer, and then one is like a goldy shimmer, but I just prefer clear glosses because then they can go perfectly on top of nude lipsticks without changing anything. So yeah, definitely recommend checking this out. And that is it, guys. Those are all of the drugstore products that I don't think I've talked about too much, but I absolutely love. Like I said, if you are looking for like palette recommendations, or even I did a top 10 drugstore blush video, I will link them below in my description box, so make sure you guys check those out. Yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section if you have any of these, or if you want to try any of them. Let me know all of that good stuff. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Take care. Bye.